Welcome to Just Puzzling. My name is Chris. Today we're going to do a Killer Sudoku at the expert level. Let's get into it. As you know, if you've watched these videos before, I just do these on an iPad, and my rules around these are pretty simple. I do not use notes for my Killer Sudoku. When you see my iPad for Sudoku one, you will see notes everywhere. So they're completely different ways of doing it. I just wanted to show my way of doing things. If you see things that you're not making sense and you want me to do some a video with notes in it, just let me know and I will put it together just for an education point of view. Alright, so what we've got here is we're looking at the present time for our special thing. The reason I knew that this was 2 and 1 was because of that 1 and 3 there. So the 1 had to be there, that's a 2. So this is going to be 2 and 4. 1 has to be here. 1 cannot add up to a 4-digit number. So the only digits that can add up to 29 are 8, which is there, 7, 9 and 5. So they're the only ones. So that's going to be a 1, that's going to be a 6. Okay, so that's got that as a 1 and that's as a 2. We know here is 1 and 3, which we need then know that that's 2 and 6, but we just don't know what that is there. So this can be 8 and 5 or 4 and 9 at the moment. 1 and 3, yep. Okay, so if I've got 2 spare cages there, so we'll just add up and see. So 16 plus 9. Okay, let's rephrase it. 16 plus 8 is 24, plus 9 would have been 25, but it's 24, plus 12 is 36. So these two are going to add up to 9. Okay, so that is going to either be 6, 7 or 8, because it can't be a 9, 1, 2 and 3. So it can't be 2, because I've told you that's a 2. So 2 and 7 are out, so that's going to be 6 or 8. So 6 can be one of those 3 there. 25 plus 11 is 36, so that's also a 9. Alright, so what else have we got? 1 and 3. So up here must be the 3, and 3 must be there. So I know that's 9 and 7, so what could that be? So 11 plus 8 is 19, plus 20 is 39, plus 4 is 43, plus 16 is 59. So that's going to be a 14. So this could be 7 and 7 or 9 and 5. Okay. And normally you wouldn't hear me say 7 and 7, but because they're in different rows and columns, it can be. So if I know that that's a 3 there, what does that leave me? 11. So that can't be. So this is 2 and 4, so that means that this is going to be 3, 6 and 5. So that's a 6. So 3 and 5 there. So 8, 15, 19. I don't know how I get, let's do that again. 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 2 is not 19, it's 17, so 30. So this is going to be an 8 and 7 in these two here. Because of that, that's the 8, and that's the 7. And remember, because of the 3 being here, can't be in that column, so that's a 3 there. Okay, so that makes that 9 and 4, which will make that 7 and 5. So 7 has to be there, 5 has to be there, 9 has to be there. So the reason for that is because I've made that 5 and 7, that 5 and had to be 5 and 7 on those two. Because remember I told you what the numbers for the 29 were. 7 there, so that makes that 7. 9 and 4. So 5 and 7. So the only place that. So remember, that's 2 and 6. So that's 2 and 4, 5 and 7. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Now, interesting enough with the 9 is that 9 has to be there because 6 and 8 can't be with it because of that 6. So that has to be a 9 and that has to be a 4. Okay, so 9 and 5. Still, this is 9, so that can't be. So this is 8 and 7. Remember I said that this was either couldn't be a 7 here because that couldn't be a 2. Now that's because of that 2 there. So this has to be, and now because of the 6s, that has to be an 8 and that has to be a 7. Okay, so 8 is going to have to be in one of these 3 cells here because that's 9 and 5 can't be because that's an 8 there. So that's the 8. That's the 3. So that's actually opened up this as being 5 and 7. So if that's 5 and 7, that must be the 5. That must be the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 and 9 there. 3 and 5 there. Okay. And for all of this thing, knowing that's a 3 and a 5, I've always had that 3 and 1 there. So that's the 3 and that's the 5. What that's now done is giving that as a spare cage. 4 plus 16 is 20, 28, 39, so that's a 6. No, it's not. Apparently I can't add, which you know that already. 4 plus 16 is 20, plus 10 is 30, plus 11 is 41, that's a 4. So, I apologise for my adding, and that's crap, but that's how it should be. But what I've now done is this has left this as 14. Because of that 8, this has got to be 5 and 9. So 5 there, so that's a 5, and that's a 9, which means that's a 9, that's a 7. If you remember what I said before, that's a 7. Okay. So once again, I do this without notes, but, you know, because I like to challenge my memory. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 works. So that's a 10. So 1, 3, 6. So this is 8 and 2. So we'll put that as 2 and 8, mainly because of that 8 there. 1, 2, 3, that leaves that as a 4. So this is going to be 1 and 5, because it can't be 2 and 4 to make up the 6. So that's a 1, and that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. So they're all the numbers that can make up in the 8. So the only number I didn't say was 6, and that's a 2. This is still 5 and 7. So 1, 2, 3. So, and that will be a 9. Interesting that the 9 and 4 hasn't filled out here, 5 and 7, but the 3 has. 3 and 1. So 1 has to be one of those 2 cells because 1 can't be a 10 in there because we only go up to 9. Okay, so what else have we got? 5 and 7, 5. So what have we got from a 7 point of view? 7 can be there, but it can't be there because of the 1. So 7's going to be there or there. Because of the 4, that's the 7. That's the 4. As I trickle down here, 7 can be in that column there. So that can be a 4 and 7. So 7, 13. What makes up 13? So 13 is made up by 8 and 5, 9 and 4, and 7 and 6. So 9 and 4 is there. So that's 8. And that's a 5. Still 1 and 3. So this is still 2 and 6. So let's do the 6 and 2. Okay, so 9 is going to be in this column here because it can't be there or there because 9 plus 2 numbers doesn't add up to 11. So 9 is here. So that's a 9. 9. Pretty excited. We've finally got the 9 and 4 there, which means I know that the 4 has to be one of those 2. So that can be there or there. 4 and 7. So this is 8 and 5. 4 and 7 of the other 2 numbers are there. So that is a 5 and that's an 8. I'm pretty sure I told you that was added up to 9, but we'll soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, because the 4 and 7's in this column, but it can't be 4 and 7. That's a 7, which means that's a 7, and that's a 5, which means that's a 7, and that's a 5. And we've got all of the 5s and 7s done. Okay, so 5, 6 is out, 7, so this is 8 and 3. 8 and 3, focusing on the 8 there or the 3 there. So this means that this is 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 6 is 11. So this is going to be 9 and 2, there's a 9 there, so 9 and 2. Because of the 3 there, that's a 3 there, that's a 1 there. Remember I said that that's a 1. This leaves me 2 and a 6. There you go. Thank you for watching. I did that in just under 11 minutes. It says 11 minutes, but by the time I start the video, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that fell out. One adding error, that happens, but you know, you understand the principles. I wasn't wrong in the principle. I just can't add. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you have a great day. Cheerio.